The headlines say it all. A high school valedictorian wrote about being gay in his graduation speech. The school administrators canceled it. The story got a lot of coverage from the New York Post, Newsweek, BuzzFeed, and more. Meet Nat Worth, who says he wanted to use his speech at graduation to talk about being a gay student at his Lutheran high school in Wisconsin. But the administration said no. Okay, now follow me here. Nat worked hard for 4 years to be the best in his class, and all he wanted to do was come out as himself in front of his classmates. But when the administration found out, they canceled his speech. This story horrified us, and when we heard about it, we picked up the phone, flew him out here, and we are giving him the spotlight. So joining us today is Nat Worth. Let's welcome him. Welcome, Nat. Thanks for coming. First of all, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Students these days, I would be so scared, and they're so cool these days. Cool.
Listen, things are going to get awkward with Tori, just so you know before we start.
Yeah. I'm prepared. I'm prepared.
Thanks. All right.
Way to brief them.
All right. I do want to ask you, when the administration said they were going to cancel, how did you feel immediately and then maybe a couple days after?
Yeah, initially I felt very angry at them, but then almost immediately after that initial feeling of anger had passed, I knew that they were empowering me to finally speak up against their abuses of power and to finally make a change by coming forward to the press.
Did you at all think, I'm going to hide away and not do this?
Yeah, my parents initially didn't want me to say anything to any of the press, and they discouraged me. But luckily, I have a supportive group of friends and a supportive church who have given me rides to places and have really enabled me and empowered me to do this.
That's incredible. All right. Now, did they give you a reason, the school? I want to give them a chance to say why, and were you surprised at the choice?
They were very vague. They didn't really say why, but I kind of knew why. So on Monday, they had told me that they were concerned about me giving a speech and that they didn't want my speech to be too controversial for graduation, and they wanted me to submit a rough draft to them by Wednesday. And I had written the speech on the previous Sunday, so I submitted it to them Monday night, which was early, and I submitted it with a disclaimer that said if they didn't like any parts of it, that they could take them out, and that I was willing to cooperate with them.
Wow, you were going to compromise. You could totally compromise.
Totally, because that's so important to me, working together and writing a speech that everyone agreed was appropriate for graduation. And then on Tuesday, they called me to their office and told me that I wouldn't be giving a speech.
You're right, a lot cooler.
Way cooler, right? Wow. All right, well, we reached out to Sheboygan Lutheran High School for their side of the story. They did send us a statement that reads, Sheboygan Lutheran High School does not discuss student family values with the media. They are handled confidentially with each family. And I do want to add, they also added, we use biblical principles for our policies. I just wanted to add that in. So go ahead, Brennan.
All right, so let's back the story up a little bit. I have a sister that came out during high school. So when did you come out to your parents, and what was that entire conversation like?
Yeah, I came out to my family on my 18th birthday because I didn't feel safe in their house, and I wanted the opportunity to move out if I had to. And I also wanted to wait till I was 18 so they couldn't force me to go to conversion therapy.
Wow.
Which is legal in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, in our county.
Tell us just quickly for the audience, what is conversion therapy? Conversion
therapy is when people, usually for religious reasons, send their children who are under 18 to therapy to change their sexual orientation. Wow. And it's detrimental to kids. And if you've seen the movie that just came out last year called Boy Erased, it's a very accurate depiction of what it's actually like for some people. And I didn't want that to happen to me.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Now, I mean, obviously we're here talking to you about your struggle with your high school, but I think we're forgetting that we're looking at a young man about to go to college.
That's Absolutely.
So forget you being gay, forget your high school. You're about to embark on this whole new thing. Talk to me. What are you excited about in college? What are you going to study?
Well, now
what
I seem lame all my questions.
I'm going to Northeastern University in Boston. Yeah, thanks. And I'm going to be studying entrepreneurship and innovation.
Wow.
And I'm super excited because I'm going to get to use my creativity to create new things and do something with all the ideas that I have. And I'm also really excited to live in Boston and just a place where being gay doesn't matter, where I'm just a normal person like everyone else. And
you're not a normal person, you're an incredible person.
Yeah, man.
That's
my only contention on that. I can't wait to see your career.
So you are actually, this is where I get like real jazzed up. You're actually now using this testifying moment to change or trying to change Wisconsin state legislation, which is incredible. You're going all the way up. And how old are you?
18.
Oh, God. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead. So tell me what you're dealing with the state legislators.
The main thing that I'm fighting for is the enforcement of school choice policy. So school choice is this program that we have in Wisconsin, which enables state funding to be used to fund students to go to private schools, so that way they don't have to pay tuition if they can't afford it. And Lutheran High School participates in this program.
So they get state funds.
Right, yep.
Okay.
Tax dollars.
Wow.
And they're required to follow certain guidelines, which include non-discrimination, and they're also not allowed to force students to take theology classes or attend chapel, which they do. And in fact, they've threatened to expel multiple students for not wanting to take theology.
You also wanted to join a dance team, am I right? And they didn't
Yes,
want
yep.
you to do that as well?
Yeah, I tried to join dance team in my sophomore year of high school. I talked to the coach about it. She had said that it was perfectly fine, and she was excited for a boy to finally join dance. And then I showed up to the first practice, and the executive administrator was also there and said, nope, you're not going to be on dance team because a boy can't do dance at our school.
Really? Because we did a story about the first two male cheerleaders
Oh, yeah.
that cheered, that cheered at the Super Bowl, I believe, this year. So maybe they just didn't review that footage.
Wow.
Well, Ned, I have a question for you, because I believe in turning a negative into a positive, and everything happens for a reason. Do you wish you would have gave that speech now looking back, or are you happy with what happened and the platform you have?
I wouldn't change anything. I knew that when they told me that I wouldn't be giving the speech, I wasn't surprised. I expected them to discriminate against me.
Wow.
But I knew that they were empowering me with the perfect story to come forward to the press and create change on an even bigger scale than just my high school.
And I just want to sneak this in too, because I thought it was so important. Your belief, your faith is still there, and it's still strong.
Yes.
And I want you to say that message that you talked about last hour.
Yes, it's so important for me to tell students and kids that are struggling in situations like mine not to hate themselves, not to listen to the voices around them. Because I remember feeling trapped by my family and my home environment and at my school, where people were just able and empowered to be homophobic and intolerant of different kinds of people. And then at church, where I was taught to hate myself for who I was and who I am. And my message to people like me is just to ignore all those voices and to accept yourself the way you are, because then you can speak up for yourself.
Wow. Do you believe in God?
Yes.
Wow.
God is love.
That's right. Now, before you go, let's get back to this speech, okay? You never gave it. We know you can't give the entire thing right now, but what did you want to say that was censored? We want to give you the floor and the spotlight.
Yeah, the parts that they didn't like is the one part where I talked about my journey to self-acceptance and how my school, it was difficult to struggle through, especially my first 2 years of high school, when I was coming to terms with who I am and that personal struggle. And I also talked about how the church has hurt people by professing hate, and how not all churches are like that, and how religious diversity is really important, and just diversity in general is important when it comes to inclusion. And the main point that I wanted to hammer home that they didn't let me say is that God loves me for who I am, and God loves everyone just the way they are.
I love that.
Amen. Amen. Beautifully said. Thank you, Network. That's incredible.